if I sing along with it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Even the slightest sound,
like 10 seconds?
Yeah, like sometimes people who like film in gyms and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if the music is playing in the background.
You get copyrighted for that?
Yeah.
But you can't even make money off of that. Like that makes no sense.
It's like when we got copyrighted. Like,
yeah, I
by
still
the
don't
way,
understand why.
That video that we got copyrighted for, like they don't own it. Apparently, it's a scam. And like, so there's a huge like copyright issue on YouTube. Some companies will falsely claim that they're like a label or they represent a certain artist, even though that artist might have put it out to be royalty free. Mm-hmm. And they'll just claim videos. And they know that a lot of people might not go through the process of...
To dispute it? Yeah.
So they might just take the money from it or like... Yeah, they might strike. And if you dispute it, they'll just say, oh, no, we do own it. But then because YouTube's like copyright system is so trash, like they may not verify with that company if they actually own it. Mm-hmm. So then they might actually just give them full rights to that video and like give them revenue from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, it's been a huge issue. You never knew about this?
No, I didn't.
It's been a big issue on YouTube. Like,
hi, guys.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Cousin
Connection podcast. So we're obviously catching up, but we're talking about this alleged scam on YouTube. Yeah,
because our last video got copyrighted, even though I used literally from a copyright-free site.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
A beat.
Like every time we got those emails, I'm like, Amir, we got copyrighted again.
Yeah, like that's my biggest concern. Like the vlog is done.
Yeah.
But my biggest concern now is whether or not it's probably gonna get copyrighted. I'm like 90% sure it's gonna get copyrighted.
You know what we should just do?
What?
We have the mics. We have the recording system. Let's just record our own. Like
no, all you hear in the background when it's like comes with like boom, boom, boom.
You know what though, Amir?
Yeah.
With the right layering, it could sound pretty sick.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
No.
Let's just try one.
No. Okay.
Like imagine like a Cousin Connection intro song, and it's really just us.
If it gets copyrighted, then we'll replace the song with it.
The reason why we brought up the copyright issue is because, as you can tell, for those that are watching, I'm wearing my Jonas Brothers shirt that they gave me in Vegas. Okay? And I'm going to say they gave it to me, even though they didn't, but they did technically, indirectly.
You know,
they're people.
They're people, exactly.
They're people.
Didn't the security guard give it to you?
Yeah, okay. So you know what? To recap that scenario, what actually happened was the Jonas Brothers prepared hoodies and baseball caps. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, whatever, that's cute. And then remember I told you I met Elise Myers from TikTok? I showed you her and you're like, yeah, I think I know who she is.
Okay.
She's a really big TikToker, like a story time teller.
Yeah.
Anyways, her and her husband were wearing these long sleeve Jonas Brothers shirts. And I was like, where did you guys get those when we were talking? Because we're friends now. I'm just kidding, we're not. Okay. Anyways, I was like, where did you guys get your shirts? They're really cool. And they said, oh, yeah, like we lost our luggage. So when we told the Jonas Brothers, they had these ones. But I think they're for sale. Yeah. And then they offered to give me the shirts on their back. I was like, literally, no. Like, keep them.
Are they Canadian as well?
No, but they give off Canadian vibes, you know? Like nice
heritage,
people vibes. Yeah,
heritage,
possibly. So then they told us where they got it from.
Yeah.
So when we went to go collect our hoodies and baseball caps, we were talking to the guy and he was like, oh, like, where did you guys come from? And so I was like, yeah, I actually flew in from Toronto. He was like, what? You flew in from Canada? And I was like, yeah. And so he was like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, do you have any, like, and I really, like, I was prepared to purchase it. I didn't know how much it was until he said it was like $45 US. But then I did the math. I'm like,
$45 US?
That's about like
$100 Canadian.
Well, now today, yeah. But like at that time, it was like maybe 60, 65. So then I looked at your sister and I was like, I know I love them, but like $65 for a long sleeve shirt. So then he was like, don't say anything, just wait here. And we were like, okay. Yeah. So we stood there and we were just like, what is he about to do? And he left for like 5 whole minutes, which like doesn't seem like a long time. But when you're waiting, 5 minutes feels like forever.
Yeah. Where'd he go? Like just to a back room?
Yeah. So he was like behind a counter. Yeah. He was behind a counter and then he just like went into the back room and never came back. And then he walks out again and he like has them like to his side and then just like gives us 2 long sleeve shirts and he's like, take them for free. Like, you guys are really nice. It was so nice to meet you. And we were like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, you saved me $60. And so to get to my point, I saw my friends again, the Jonas Brothers, yesterday. So they had a concert in Toronto, and honestly, like, we bought these tickets so long ago. I went with some of my friends. I went with Jordana. So Jord, if you're listening to this, hi. And my cousins and stuff. But yeah, so when we bought these tickets, it was when their tour was first announced. And at the time, like, we thought that the tickets were going to sell out quickly. So we bought the tickets like as they were being released, right?
Yeah.
Like, we got a code for it and everything. And
what
I don't know
do you mean a code for it?
So nowadays, like, when artists are doing these, like, when they're releasing their concert tickets, they have like pre-sale codes for like super fans and stuff, right? So you have to like sign up ahead of time, in order to get first access, because, you know, people have been deprived from concerts the last couple years, obviously. So the demand is really high. Yeah. And I think the Jonas Brothers thought that was going to be the case for them. Yeah. So they booked out the Rogers Center, and that stadium's huge. Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't sell the Rogers Stadium?
But you know what, though? You know what? So here's the thing.
At least did they get close?
Well, when we went yesterday, I was very surprised at how full it actually was. And
how many shows do they have in Toronto?
Just one.
Oh, just one? Okay.
So what ended up happening, and I've been noticing this actually for a lot of different concerts, like from what I've been seeing on TikTok, because I don't go to concerts like that, but like from what I've seen, artists will like jack up the prices when they first announce the concert, like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Drake, whoever.
Do they have control over the prices? I thought that was always like Ticketmaster or like whoever's selling them.
I think it's both. I think they have a certain set price, but then these third-party ticket providers probably need to make some money, right? Yeah. So, yeah, for them, like we were in the 100 section, and our tickets were like $200.
200?
Yeah, and I was like, for Jonas Brothers? Like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I'll do it. Yeah. And then, like, literally the day before yesterday, it was the Thursday, I just looked up the seats, right? Because I'm like, I wonder if we could just upgrade, like, if it's that empty. Yeah. It was like more than half empty. Like, tickets were not selling.
You know what it is? I think it's because, like, the audience for Jonas Brothers is around our age. And a lot of the people around our age are struggling right now to like make ends meet to begin with. So like no one's thinking of getting tickets, but people like Taylor Swift or like what's his name, Drake, like their audience like hasn't. Of course, their audience has aged, but they also continue to have a younger audience because they're like still coming out with new music that's relevant today. So like I feel like, and because of the openers that they have and stuff, so I feel like they are able to like at least bring in that younger audience that has more disposable income, right? Especially Taylor Swift, which is why she has like what how many shows does she have in the Rogers Center?
She's gonna have like five or six,
something
insane.
Like that. Yeah,
but like I would agree with you, but when I was there, it was actually a pretty good mix. Like I saw like older people, like that looked like they were grandparents. Yeah. And then I saw, you know, a lot of people that were in their like mid to late 30s. Yeah. And then I saw some people in their 20s. I didn't really see kids yesterday.
Well, yeah, because like I'm telling you, their audience, and those 20-year-olds you saw are probably like because their older sister, or maybe even brother, you never know, was into them too.
There were a lot of guys. I was very...
They were probably chaperones. Okay.
No. I was like,
these guys were probably chaperones out there.
No, but you know how they have like the camera on the audience and stuff? Like these guys were singing along. I was like, oh, okay, you guys are friends.
You know, they were probably singing along with a little...
No, you know what though? And I'm going to call him out because I know he's listening. Yeah. Yassine's a fan of the Jonas Brothers too.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is. Because when we came back, I think it was the day that we were about to fly out, he let us he didn't let us, but like we were playing Jonas Brothers on the thing and he was fully singing along. So
okay, wait. First off, there's a difference. You can know the songs just because they were drilled into our heads when we were younger. Like I don't know like the lyrics.
Like SOS.
Which one's SOS?
Ooh, this is an SOS.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I know the main, what do you call it? The
popular songs.
Not the like the singles, but they're like chorus. Yeah. I don't know like the lyrics, right? Yeah. So like you just because we're around it, we hear it more, so we're used to that.
No, I think he actively used to. I don't know. Yassine, correct us if we're wrong.
Don't call him out like that.
Because I know he's going to listen to this. He's going to be like, damn, Sara put me on blast.
Do people even know who we're referencing as Yassine? Should we keep that?
If you know, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like, so like Thursday, because the show was on Saturday, right? So Thursday, like my friend and I were looking up the seats and we're like, should we just upgrade to like floor seats?
Yeah.
And the floor seats weren't even that expensive. Like before they were like in the 500-600. So we were like, hell no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But now like you can get them for like 100, 120, 150 for floor seats. And if you go early enough, you could be at the front.
Yeah. You know what it also could be?
What?
I feel like nowadays word of mouth kind of makes it, I mean, it gets around on places like TikTok.
Yeah, it does.
Cause like no one was really looking for the Drake concert. Like they were looking, but like it didn't get big. I feel like until people started seeing clips on TikTok
and what he was doing.
Exactly. Like I didn't know that he was doing all of that. Right?
Did you see he's giving away Birkin bags apparently?
Oh yeah, that was the thing. And some people, people were searching for who got it. And you know how like on TikTok it'll show like the comment, not the comment, but like the search thing at the top for what people are searching for. So I clicked on that, and there's like 100 people actually who were like, "Oh, I'm that girl who got the Birkin bag."
Did they show it?
No, but they're like capping, right? Like they'll say that, but then it'll just be like an irrelevant video, or there'll be them talking about it. And then what was it? And then I saw like one of the top ones with a girl who was like, she's I guess a purse expert or like one of those people, and she's like breaking down exactly what it is and how much it's worth and all that stuff.
Why is that even like, people will post anything for clout?
But that was her thing, right? So I feel like it was kind of relevant in that case.
That's funny.
But yeah, he was giving out that, and then I think Taylor Swift just in general, like she was, because of all of her younger fans, they're already posting to TikTok anyways, so that's how that gets around.
Yeah, for sure.
And what? Oh, Beyonce. Like people were seeing how crazy Beyonce's concerts were, so they were getting into it because of that, or like they wanted to be part of that.
A trend that I've noticed is that people will wait until the day of the concert to purchase the tickets.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a thing now.
They're willing to pay that much extra?
The prices drop the day of the concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's the thing. So like now I feel like what's going to happen is unless it's Taylor Swift, I feel like, but even with her, like there's still a lot of tickets available. But for other big name artists, like people are probably not going to rush to buy it when they're first released because they're so expensive. Like we in a recession, y'all.
But I believe that thing, the reason I mentioned Ticketmaster earlier is because that was actually an issue with Ticketmaster.
It was,
where they would immediately jack up the prices, like artificially. So they would say that they were sold, but really they're just saying that they're reselling the tickets, but really it's them selling them and just jacking up the prices by like 5-6 times.
Is that legal?
It probably isn't, but they're getting away with it because they have a monopoly on the market, right?
What about like SeatGeek and?
Well, SeatGeek is a resale price site, right? But Ticketmaster owns the stadiums. So that's why they're able to have so much control over the prices. That's why I think even Taylor Swift initially had that whole fight with them.
Exactly.
Right? Because they were jacking up the prices. They were making it like for what was like a $300 or $200 ticket turned out to be like $3,000.
And the crazy thing is like some people are actually willing to spend that much money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like this trend that I've noticed is like people will wait until the day of the concert and they'll buy it like right before the show starts.
Yeah. But that also becomes an issue because a lot of people get scammed that way.
Yeah.
Where they feel like they're buying a legit ticket.
Yeah.
And then like last second they realize like, oh, they already went inside and they like passed off the ticket somehow or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or they just didn't have a real ticket to begin with.
I saw that it was like a random TikTok at an Adele concert in the Vegas residency that she has. And like these two people bought tickets. One of them got scammed. So one of them was at the front and then the friend was like near the back. So like I don't know if you've seen the videos of Adele's concert, but she has a lot of dialogue with her audience.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
So she was like, oh, like, you're here by yourself? She's like, no, my friend bought a ticket, but she's scammed. And she's like, up there. And she's like, where's your friend? Let's bring her down. And she brought her friend to the front.
No way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems like a very Adele thing to do. Because she has a show, I think, like, literally every day or something like that. I don't know how residencies work. I'm pretty sure in my brain or my idea of a residency is that you have a show basically every day. Or maybe every other day. I guess you have to kind of rest your voice a little bit. So probably not every day.
Yeah, so maybe it's like every other day or like every weekend or something like that. I'm not really sure.
It's weird that like now we're having relevant not relevant art, but like relevant artists or like people that we grew up on or hearing are now getting residencies in Vegas, when like we used to, like, whenever you thought of residency, you always saw like that older, like Frank Sinatra. I don't know why I thought Frank Sinatra, but like one of those like older
Cher,
singers.
Madonna,
Exactly.
Like those types of,
But now
even
these
Usher.
are like, exactly. He has residency, which is why he became so popular recently online, because like he started residency and all these celebrities started going to see him there.
Yeah, exactly. But so like when I went to the Jonas Brothers concert in Vegas, I think like that whole experience, like I was very much like, it felt like an out of body experience. Like,
what?
Because I was so starstruck the whole time. Like I just couldn't believe that this was
the first
real.
time you said?
Yeah, like like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Like earlier this year.
Yeah.
I think the entire time, like I was just in shock that I was even in Vegas. Like it was just so like it happened so fast. No, I know.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but it's more like I was FaceTiming Gizman on Tuesday and then we were together on Thursday. Like it was so wild to me that this was all happening.
Yeah.
That like I was taking it in, but I wasn't really taking it in.
Yeah.
So and I was like filming it, like I was recording everything because I'm like, I need to watch this back and remember that it happened. So yesterday when we went, like, so I think it's like a thing now where these artists are doing like eras tour, which is actually a term coined from Taylor Swift. Like she's doing all of the different albums or eras.
Basically what Drake is doing as well right
Drake
now.
is doing it. The Jonas Brothers are doing 5 of their albums in one night. It's a long show, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, they have an intermission for like a good 20-30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 3 hours.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, 3-hour show. So like they basically went through their discography. Is that a word? Yeah. So they went through like all the albums and like teenage me was like literally living because I didn't realize how, like, I mean, I knew how big of a fan I was, but I was like, and I had my cousins next to me who are like, they're fans, but they're not like super fans, you know? So they knew, like, they're like you. They recognize the singles and they kind of know the choruses. Yeah. But like the niche tracks, like the other tracks on the album that are not
the B-sides.
The B-sides, that's what it is. I was like, so me and Jord, like Jordana is also like a super fan like me. So
you call her Jord?
Yeah. So that's her nickname. Yeah. But we were like screaming the song. Yeah. And then I wish someone had a camera on us to just show the contrast between like me and Jordana and then my other 2 cousins here, because they're just like, you know, just like vibing, like, yeah, this is a nice vibe. Yeah. Recording the audience. I'm like, record the guys. Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty funny. And
wait, but like, tell me how quiet it got when like the newer album was
no.
Oh no, even the newer one?
Yeah, so like the very, very new one that just dropped when I went, like in whenever I went, May or whenever it dropped. Like people knew that one. There was the album right before that. I think I knew like 2 songs. And there are TikToks coming out now. Yeah. Where people that went to the Toronto show, they're like, I didn't realize how many songs I didn't know. Yeah. So like the first hour and a half, they played the first 3 albums. Everyone, or first 4, I would say. Yeah. Everyone knew those ones. Because it was like, you know, SOS, like all those.
Yeah, but they didn't really have hits after that, right? So
no, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Must have been on country hits, because I don't know. Country. I don't know. I never heard them.
They're like pop rock, I guess.
But then again, I don't really listen to the radio like that anymore. So
you know what it was? So when they released the Jonas Brothers album, I believe they were like they were collabing with Hannah Montana. They just started filming Camp Rock. So the success of Camp Rock helped carry the success onto their own personal album. Yeah. And then that worked for like the first like 4 albums. And then they broke up.
Oh, did they like officially? They're brothers. Yeah, How can they break up?
Because they just creative differences. Yeah. And then they went and did
like they officially broke up. Oh, I thought they just went on hiatus or something.
No. They actually broke up. Like there was no plans of getting back together. Yeah. So the boys launched their own like their solo careers. Yeah. So Nick had his, Joe had his, and then Kevin was, I think, doing like investments into like tech spaces and stuff. And then when they got back together, they released their like next album. That's the one that I was like, I don't really know.
You know, they're still getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah, but this newer album I feel like is more like mature and like their sound. I guess they're trying to find their sound, so more people knew that one. But yeah, it was very interesting.
You know, when you talked about the phone thing.
What phone?
Because like I don't know if you know this, but for like comedic shows.
Yeah.
Oh, I think actually maybe you were with. Did you come to the Trevor Noah show with me?
Yeah.
The
Rogers Center. Right?
Rogers Center, right? Yeah. So remember how they took our phones and they put them in those bags?
Yeah. No, that was for Hassan Minaj.
Was it?
Yeah, not Trevor Noah.
Okay. For Hassan Minaj. So his show, when they put it inside there, like, do you think that would be a good idea for concerts?
I don't think it's fair to do it for concerts only because they're charging so much for the tickets.
Yeah.
People are recording because they want to remember that experience, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fair. I think if they had like a set price, like every ticket, like if you're doing on the floor is $150, stands are all $50 or whatever the case is, then you can lock up phones because everyone's paying like a decently fair price.
Yeah.
But if people are paying like $3,000 here and $500 here, like that's not fair to lock up someone's phone.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about it. The reason comedians do it,
they're filming a special.
It's not only because they're filming a special, it's because comedic jokes are like special. They're more like once you hear it, it kind of ruins it for everybody else, right? Or it ruins it for you. So if you want to go and see them live and you already heard it, you're like, I already heard this. I want something new. But for like music and all that stuff, like you can hear it multiple times and you'll still
like
get the same enjoyment from it.
You guys know, as you're listening to this, actually, Amir and I both reference TikTok a lot. Like, I don't want to say it's our primary news source, but I feel like it's our primary entertainment source.
Yeah. For me, it's mostly like just cats and cats and like comedic skit videos. or gym videos sometimes. Yeah. But I don't get those as much anymore.
I feel like, and we just spoke about this last night with the girls, and like even before this, like my mom, anyone who knows me in real life, I feel like I am the ideal candidate for consumerism. What? Marketing. Like I feel like I fall for everything. Yeah. Like anytime there's like I am so influenced that it's like, and I'm now coming to terms with it.
You're the ideal influenced person.
Yeah, like when
a consumer,
marketing execs, when marketing execs are in the room, like who is our ideal candidate? It's me. It is literally me.
You know what's funny about that? I was literally having a conversation with someone recently where they're like, you know, you should probably like hide more of your information. Like, why are you giving away so much of your information? I'm like, no, let them have all my information so they can like sell me the things I actually need in my life, right?
But that's the thing, like, and especially with the way that the algorithm works, and we know TikTok listens to us already. Like, we already know this. But they really listen, and they send me relevant content all the time. And guess who gets influenced? Me. You. So yesterday, after the concert, we went to go eat because you know how it is when you're downtown and you're trying to leave downtown right after like a big show of any sorts. Yeah. It's a nightmare. So we're like, let's just eat, let the traffic die down.
I'm surprised you guys didn't leave before they finished the concert. That's what you should always do.
Why? They usually play their best song at the end.
Do they? No. Well, like you can hear the first what people do, what I've heard like is a good strategy is when they start playing that last encore song, whatever. Yeah. When you hear the first chorus, you're satisfied or whatever, start making your way out.
See, that would make sense, but we were also in the middle of the row. And it's very annoying because we did go out like during the intermission, and it's annoying because like there was an older couple at the very end, right? So every time we wanted to leave, they would have to get up and get out of their seats. Yeah, you know. Other people would just stand up, but they were like, no, it's okay, we'll get out. But so we went to go eat, and while we were eating, we were talking about, I don't even know what, but I was like, oh, you know what would be really good for that? You should try that at XYZ. Like I suggested something, and all
like a product.
Yeah, and all three of the girls were like, no, like you've literally told, like anything that we talk about, you're like, oh, you know what you should try? Like you literally try everything. And I'm like, you know what? I try things because it's not, a celebrity can't sell me anything. It's real life people. Yeah. I fall for it because why, like, and I understand how influencer marketing works, right? Obviously they get paid to promote a product, and they get paid because it, like, they can influence someone. Like, I feel like I should profit off of this. High key, because I try everything anyways.
Well, like that's why what do they call it again? Like micro influencers, and there's an actual job now for people who aren't influencers but make content for
UGC
products. UGC, user generated content.
Yep.
Like that stuff, you don't have to be an influencer. You literally just have to set up a camera. You have to know how to like sell a product, or not. You don't even have to know. You have to like you have to have some idea of how to market a product.
Yeah.
You make the content for them, and then they put it out themselves.
Yeah.
Because when they see, like you mentioned, when they see someone more closer to the ground than like someone they can more relate to, they're more likely to listen to what they have to say, right?
Yeah, and I just feel like for me, like, and I won't just watch one video. Like usually what happens is I'll get a video on my For You page, and then if it sparks my interest, then I go into a deep dive of like researching and watching other people post about it and talk about it and their experience. And once I feel like I've done enough research, if I'm truly still convinced, then You'll still
get it.
Yeah.
Just don't get it on Temu.
Yeah, no, I've heard about that.
You saw that too, right?
I feel like Temu is only successful because of the class action or the RICO charges against Shein.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like
Is Temu and Shein the same thing? Like similar? I thought Shein was clothing.
Temu is like another version of Amazon,
but like Chinese version.
But what about Alibaba or AliExpress?
Those ones are a little bit more reliable. Those are more reliable. Yeah.
But how did Temu just all of a sudden?
Because of what we're talking about, because of being influenced, people buying it, advertisements, all that stuff coming out. And apparently recently, they've been actually selling the credit card or like user data or user information.
I saw.
And like people are getting scammed. Like they'll order a product and 2 weeks later their card will be
like maxed out.
Charged like for some like random charges, and they find out that someone got their information. Yeah. And like it's multiple people who heard this happening too, because right after they order from Temu, allegedly.
I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had to make that point. Like, I am so influenced, and I try to influence my friends. Sometimes they listen to me, sometimes they don't.
That's how they get you. You know, they first get you to buy into the product, and then you go out and start selling it to other people.
Shoot, I should probably start.
Look into UGCs, honestly. You could probably.
I'm about to listen, guys. If we start promoting stuff, just know that it's actually genuine. Okay, we don't chase the bag here.
Yeah.
We like if we ever promote something, it's because we actually genuinely believe in it. Which, side note,
Vessi sponsor us.
I will say. These beautiful headphones. Did you guys notice? We finally have matching headphones.
Oh, yeah. And we can actually hear each other super clearly now.
Yeah, like I could hear you like swallow your spit.
No, that's
not you literally doing it too.
So I tried to do it like to make you hear it.
You're supposed to like...
Oh, that's gross.
Did you hear that?
Gross. I'm not doing that. I'm cutting that all out.
Why?
Can I talk about nerdy stuff?
Of course you can.
So you see what's going on with AI? Like I know we've like mentioned AI initially. I don't know if I even gotten this far about it. I can't remember if I spoke about it. But like there's been like AI has been getting exponentially better to the point where,
as we predicted.
Yeah, but like I don't think people realize how crazy. Like, did you notice how when we talked about AI, like it was still something new to you and to everyone, and then like everybody just started using it, and now it's literally everything. It's integrated into almost everything we use now.
Yep.
Like a lot of the videos I get when it comes to editing are related to like AI processes that can be done now. But there was a video I recently got where they showed how it can be exploited. You can use AI to like exploit people's like security. So like let's say like you have a some code from like a device and you want to like find out how many security flaws it has in the code. You can literally ask AI, be like, I have this code here, can you please write me a set of code to exploit whatever no, can you write me a set of code that can exploit some part of this security device and let me access it? Yeah. And then it will automatically just do that within 10 seconds. It'll give you a line of code. You can throw that in there, make some software out of it, and you can exploit it. And you can do the same thing for like Wi-Fi. So if you're walking next to someone, you say like, write me some code to access this person's Wi-Fi. And it'll be able to enter it. Yeah. So AI is taking it to a next level. And I don't know if you heard this story recently where... you know how there's like people started playing around with voice AI, and like they were recreating like Trump's voice at one point, and Obama, and like all these celebrities. Like it was, it was cute at that point, right? But now what some companies or what some people can do to exploit that is, let's say they call you up, you think it's like a scammer, or not a scammer, but like a wrong number. So the person will call you, and you'll be like, oh, sorry, this is a wrong number, blah, blah, blah. They get a few words out of you. Maybe they get you on the line for like 5-10 seconds. What they can do now is take the audio from those 5 or 10 seconds, and they can recreate your voice through AI, and then they can use that to let's say they call. So this is a real story. Let's say they call your mom, and they say, hey, we have your daughter for hostage right now. And then they say, here, we'll put her on the phone. And they take that AI voice and they write out whatever they want it to say. And they'll say that. And it sounds like their daughter. It sounds like she's in distress. She sounds scared. And then they say, but like, if you don't give us $200,000, we're going to, kill her or whatever. And this is a real story. This is something that actually happened.
I think I saw that story. I just have to say, this is my golden rule. If you get a call from a number you don't recognize, don't say hello. If you answer, just stay silent. Wait for them to say hello first.
Yeah, nowadays I don't answer any calls to begin with.
Neither do I.
So, but if I did, usually I just wait and I listen, and usually like either that robot will come on speaking like Chinese or something, or it'll be like some guy trying to sell me like air duct cleaning. Which I think we've all had the same experience, but now those air duct companies might be taking your voice and using that against you
to exploit, like.
Yeah.
But my thing is, these criminals, if you are thinking that outside of the box,
well, they're criminals, right?
Why don't you just go do something legal? Go get a job.
Because it's easier. Like, think about that. Just by doing that, they can probably have a turnaround of thousands of dollars within a day.
But have you seen those videos where the scammers get scammed? Have you seen
like
those
where
that scam them?
They go, like they get the call center in India. Yeah.
Or they make money off scammers. The scammers get scammed and they make their money back.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll show it.
How do they get the scammers? Because usually you have to like get them to like pay into something.
Well, this guy was like very determined. Like he was.
There is a whole side of YouTube now where it's just purely exploiting scammers, or not exploiting them, but like either catching them or pranking them, or like you said, getting them back and actually like flipping the tables on them basically and getting money out of them.
You know what may solve this problem?
What?
And this is a controversial topic.
What?
I forgot the acronym for it, but the universal money thing, universal currency.
Universal currency?
Or not universal currency. Sorry.
What?
Like the thing where the government gives everyone a standard amount of money.
Universal basic income.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but like the thing about any new process is that someone's going to find a way to exploit it, and the government usually is not the best at managing things like that, especially if it's like, I think the closest we got to it was CERB, which was during COVID, yeah.
But the thing is about universal income is that like if that was to be rolled out, let's say like let's just talk about it in Canada, for example. Like we'll leave the rest of the world for now.
Yeah.
Does that mean, because if everyone has a universal based income, does that mean that people are still expected to work their jobs? Because whether they work or not, everyone has the same income
like you
anyways.
can still work your jobs, but I believe you get like a certain amount of money. But the issue with that is that the cost of living in like Edmonton is so much more different than the cost of living in Toronto. And you'll start to have people being like, hey, why are the people in Toronto getting double what I'm getting here in Edmonton, right? And then you might have an issue where if you do have a discrepancy in how much people are getting, you'll have a bunch of people from Edmonton moving to Toronto to be able to get that money, right?
But like it would be relative to where you live, right? Like if it costs you $500 a month to live comfortably and all of your needs are satisfied, and then you have some extra income as well in Edmonton versus $2,000 in Canada. Like, and this is obviously wishful thinking, but I'm just saying, like, you see the difference?
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to leave, like, what you're, like, the $500 could, you live comfortably for a month in Edmonton, and it takes $2,000 in Toronto to live comfortably. Like, why would you want to, it's essentially, I know it's not the same exact amount, 500 versus 2,000, but in your respective cities, it's still like relatively the same.
Well, it's not only like being able to live, it's like lifestyle. Would you want to survive? Would you want to stay in Edmonton even though you're getting about the same relatively like to how much it costs to live there? Like you're also dealing with longer winters in Edmonton. You're dealing with like less activities.
Well,
like if people prefer to live in a large big city with a lot of people versus Edmonton where it's more like widespread and very quiet.
Yeah, but it could also be like the universal income could be like everybody gets X amount of dollars a year. Mm-hmm. It's a livable income, but if you wanted to work, then you get extra on top of that.
But livable income is different for everyone, right?
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like if you wanted to make more, you could work and then you make more that way.
Yeah, I think it would only make sense once you fix all the other issues that make the cost of living so crazy, especially in Toronto. Like the reason Toronto is like so trash for cost of living is that like the housing market is like so out of whack. Like there's not enough houses for all the people, so it's like supply and demand is so out of whack that it's causing, because supply is so low, the demand is so high, it's causing the prices to skyrocket.
Right.
And I keep getting TikToks now, or like videos, not even TikToks, even videos on like YouTube where people are like, hey, if you think the prices are going down or they might go down, they're never going to go down. Like they're either going to be where they're at right now and maybe plateau a bit, or they're just going to keep going up. And there's going to be a larger discrepancy between the classes. Like there's no more middle class in Canada anymore. In the world, essentially. Like we're kind of leading towards what you're seeing in like more poverty-stricken countries. You know what I'm saying? Why are you giving the 1,000-yard stare while I'm saying that? Did your life just flash before your eyes?
Can you tell we clearly talk about this topic in almost every episode? One of these days, you're going to see an episode that says we're leaving Canada.
I think we literally made a title of an episode called "We're Leaving Toronto."
Yeah. All I'm saying is that like, don't be surprised if we leave, because then connection Toronto goes international.
Yeah. No, but it's not only the housing; it's also like the healthcare system is like starting to get worse.
The healthcare system has been bad though.
Yeah, but like bad. After COVID kind of made it take like 10, 15 steps back essentially. Yeah. And we're still trying to recover from that. And now a lot of our nurses and doctors are choosing to just go abroad instead of staying which is kind of weird because like that was an issue where people what do they call it when there's like professionals leaving a country because like the resources and the economic climate is so trash or like so like horrible in that country. Like it happens in a lot of third world countries where like a lot of their doctors, a lot of their lawyers or any like businessmen and any professionals, they end up just leaving, or scientists, sorry. Yeah. They end up leaving because
there's a term for it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Maybe I'll like put it up or something. People, whoever's listening to this probably is like screaming, being like, shoot.
It. Brain drain?
No. Oh. Brain drain? Shoot. What?
It was there. So human capital flight?
You know what? We'll find it later. It's all good. Yeah. Well, what were we talking about initially? We were talking about AI.
We were talking about AI and how like people can be framed.
Oh yeah. So just to get back to what we were talking about we're talking about AI. I feel like AI will start to be used to like replace a lot of those professional jobs or like a lot of those gaps that we're currently having in our system. So like AI might be used in the healthcare system, or like it's already being used a lot more in business, like people who used to make certain financial decisions like investing and all that.
Yeah.
Like companies are relying more on AI to do that because they can go through all that information a lot more faster than a person can, right? So why hire a person when you can get it done for almost free by a computer? So a lot of those jobs are being lost, and people say like, you know, there's not really a loss of jobs, it's just like a shift of jobs. So like those people who are losing jobs may have opportunity in other places, but I don't know if I see that with AI, which is why that video I was talking about where they were explaining how it can be exploited was actually a not TED Talk, but like a TED Talk kind of setup for a team of previous like programmers and software engineers that are blowing the whistle or like sounding the alarm on AI and like showing what the dangers of AI really is and how it can be exploited.
Yeah, but also like the was it the founder of OpenAI, I believe it was?
Yeah, I mentioned that last time where he went to Congress and spoke about it. But I think he was probably one of the people part of that team. But the guy who was in that video was on Joe Rogan like a year or two ago speaking about the dangers of AI, and a lot of the things that he was warning against are happening now.
Well, he's going to be like, I told you so. Basically, the only way that you could really be safe nowadays is just be off the grid.
Yeah, let's just move off the grid then.
Yeah, have a flip phone. Don't even have a
We'll
regular
go down to Tim Hortons every week to put up the podcast and just leave again.
We're not going to have any social media?
Yeah, we're not going to have any topics to talk about either, though. We're going to talk about, so we got that deer in the back, I had a real struggle, just stripping them the other day, trying to get them that coat off so I can get to the meat. I don't know about
literally, what? You know what? We gonna take a break real quick.
Why? What are we at? Oh shoot! Yeah, we're gonna take a break.
We'll recuperate and we will be back. We don't have time left to regret.
Hold on.
That's not how it goes, Amir. Global warming actually might be a real thing. We've been ignoring it this whole time. What's her name? Greta something? Greta.
Well, we haven't been ignoring it. It's just like the governments haven't been doing anything. They have been doing things, quote unquote things to like, they have been putting actions, quote unquote actions into place, but like it's nothing. Like I think recently I saw a post where they're like, yeah, this whole carbon tax the government put in is like so trash because like they implemented it for everyone. So like sometimes you get a weird like carbon tax thing. Yeah. But like where is this money going to? And a lot of people are like, yeah, I think this is just a way for the government to squeeze more money out of people because now everybody's so strained on costs. They're like every little tax, every little thing that costs them more money, they like look more into it now. Before people are like, whatever. But now they're like, actually like, okay, there's all these wildfires still going on, all these hurricanes, everything's, the world is going bonkers basically. Have
you seen when you book a flight all the little taxes that they charge you now?
No, I never even noticed.
Yeah, no, so like a flight could be $1,000 and then when you finally check out with tax it's like $1,500 and you're like, I know tax is only 13%.
That's that carbon tax, man.
So then you see all these little tiny like this fee. I'm like, what are these fees that I'm paying for? I don't even know.
Yeah. No, that's where it's coming. Like, that's the issue right now, right? That they've been implementing all these quote unquote implementing all of these actions to mitigate global warming.
It ain't doing shit.
It's not doing anything, and now like we're seeing the byproduct of it.
But I noticed that they were doing this incentive to purchase electric vehicles by like giving them grants or whatever. Extra money, making them cheaper of some sort.
Which actually, I was having like a talk with someone about this recently, but like electrical vehicles aren't that much more better for the environment because you have to think about the batteries that these vehicles need. Like batteries are still like producing them. And the stuff that they contain are still super
toxic to
the environment. Because what happens once these batteries die? Like they just like have to dispose of them, right?
Are they recyclable?
They're not. Like at least the stuff within them are not, right? You're dealing with like lithium batteries here, and then the resources needed to make the vehicle to begin with, they still need to take from the earth. So it's not a sustainable field, not sustainable, but like it's not like you're doing much better for the environment. The only thing that you might be doing better on is the whole gas thing, right? Like you're not burning fossil fuel gases, but at the same time you're also using electricity to charge the car. And unless your house runs on solar panels or you're getting it from a reusable source like solar or wind or water or something, you're still taking energy from the grid, which is burning, which is getting its energy from fossil fuel plants, or coal burning plants that are still ruining the environment. So like, even when you're trying to make
22,
even when you're trying to make a more eco-friendly decision, all the things that it comes with ends up making it almost like break even.
I mean, maybe the government should consider making like solar panels more of a regular thing, right? Like,
I was watching a video recently of MKBHD. I've mentioned him a few times. Yeah. Well, he actually changed all the panels on top of his house to solar panels.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I was going to Google him.
And he was able to he's in New Jersey, so it's more of like a similar case to what we might have to deal with. But he was in New Jersey, and he was actually able to get to a $0 bill by the end of the year, like where he was. And because he bought the extra batteries and everything, he was able to save energy in his house. So like, because normally with solar, if you don't have the batteries to store the energy, like you're only going to have energy throughout the day, and then at nighttime you're going to have to take from the grid. Right. But because he had batteries, it would take from the grid all day. It would take from the sun all day, and then it would save whatever extra it hasn't used into the batteries, and overnight it would start using the batteries. So he said for the most part, like I think 8 months out of the year, he was actually at like a net positive, where he still had his own energy, and he was actually selling some of it back to the energy company. And
that's kind of cool. I don't even know how that works, but like that's cool.
Well, like in the battery, I believe it has to be used after a certain time, or like once the batteries are full, like
he would give the batteries to them.
No. Once the batteries are full, like you're still getting energy from the sun, right? So where's that energy go? It's going to go to the grid. It's going to go back to the grid, and then they're going to be able to use that energy for their own things, right? So they're actually giving him money back for that. But of course, in the winter, there's less sun. You have snow that covers the roof, which actually helped him, or was actually somewhat positive. He thought that because there would be snow on the roof, that it would lead to him having no energy production or production for the whole winter. But what would happen is that because the solar panels would already give off some type of heat, like the snow that landed on his roof would eventually clump up into giant pieces and just slide off. So it basically cleaned off his roof for him at the same time. But of course, because there's not as much sun, he would still have to take off the grid a little bit. But because he was giving them energy back in the summer, it evened out to where he had a $0 bill by the end of the year, basically.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So that's basically your best option, but it is an expensive one, and you have to have like, it's already costs enough to like live in this country. Like thinking of putting solar panels on a house that you can't even afford or you can't even get is a whole other thing, right? But if they mandated it or not mandated, but the government was able to like just pay for that themselves, then I feel like that might be a better option. Like, and they can't afford it, because if you think about it, if they stop giving away let's say they stop subsidizing like the whole buying of electrical cars, money that they would normally give back, they might be able to use that to like but pay people for putting solar panels on the roof, which I believe they do subsidize to a level, but they might be able to make it completely free.
But wouldn't that like you're picking one over the other? You know?
Yeah,
so,
I guess so. Yeah, but the vehicle is, I feel like it would be more environmentally unfriendly over time, because
more people on the roads.
Yeah, and also like once that car gets into a crash or is totaled, right. All of that has to be thrown out. And it's not really recyclable.
And I saw, I guess, like the minuscule effort of like making more bike lanes and stuff. But like when you really think about it, like cities like, for example, Sweden. Remember Sweden? Sweden's not a city.
Did we talk about urban planning?
I feel like we didn't really deep dive into it, but I feel like Stockholm.
Yeah.
There are subway stations that are very accessible, like in pretty much in the entire part of the city, where it's actually more preferable to just hop on the train.
Yeah.
And the service isn't that bad either. Like it's pretty frequent enough.
Yeah, because that's a case where urban planning was taken into account when they were building the cities out, right? So, but unfortunately, because of like bureaucracy and like money incentives for like making more money, a lot of these developers didn't really have much oversight from the government. So they were just building houses without any thought taken into urban planning. And urban planning means like, you've heard about like the 5 or 10 minute city, right?
Where you can get around like to your necessities within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like your ideal urban. I think 15 minutes is kind of.
They're trying to build that now.
Realistic.
Like near Yorkdale Mall, and then also in Pickering. Mm-hmm. I saw that.
But I believe that requires the developer, whoever owns that area, to have that in mind. Yeah. But a lot of these, because of how the housing market is how hot the housing market is right now, people just want to build houses. They don't care. They just want to make that money.
Yeah.
So they're going to build like we saw in Markham and we saw in Ajax and Pickering and basically everything that surrounds the city. Yeah. They've just made lots and lots of houses and didn't put into account like where these people are going to go to school, where are they going to buy their food, where are they going to
gas
station, like entertainment, all those things.
Yeah.
Just bought house. So all these people rely on cars now. And a lot of them work downtown, so they have to make their way in.
Yep.
So that it really does make a difference if that's taken into account.
Dang, we should have been urban planners. I feel like we got the mind for it.
I actually took an urban planning class in school, and I actually did so well in that class.
Why didn't you ever did you ever consider making that like a career, or you just weren't that interested in it?
I think because I still had that like immigrant mindset where you're like doctor, engineer, what's the third one? Lawyer? Yeah. But I feel like if I was more open-minded and like I didn't feel like I had that pressure, I probably would have went into urban planning because I took that class.
That's a cool job.
Yeah.
Like I would be really interested to do that.
But I think I would probably be frustrated with the bureaucracy and all that stuff that comes into it. And like
you'd probably quit and then become a developer and just do it yourself.
Yeah, like you go into architecture or something. Yeah. But there are, what was I going to say? When I did take that class, actually, I did so well in that class that I got 100 on the like final exam.
Okay, subtle flex.
And the teacher was like, he like put me to the side and he's like, hey, so like if you ever like have any interests into going into urban planning professionally, you can use me as a resource. You can use me as a reference, because I feel like you really have a passion for it. So I was like, damn, am I in the wrong field? What is this? I'm in engineering at this point.
You should have really like considered it at that point.
It's more of just like a topic that I'm very.
Did you ever play Sims?
About. Yeah.
That's probably.
I never played Sim City though. I feel like I would have loved more than Sims.
Yeah.
Because I played Sims, but like not that much. I usually just mess around on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's why I haven't made it a career. Because like if I really loved it, I would have played a game like Sim City, but I never did. So why did I have not? Or maybe I was just like trying to deny it or something. That's why I didn't play it.
Yeah, you might.
I always had that little inkling to want to play it though.
You might have just like you said, like you had that mindset of like I have to be one of the big three, So.
Yeah. Yeah, but I have hope in our future where they don't feel like that pressure to follow a certain path. So
you're telling me if your kid goes, I want to be a singer.
No, not in the entertainment field. I feel like entertainment field is like, except for if it's something that you're doing yourself. No. I mean, okay, no. This I don't consider this. What did you just do?
I dropped my phone.
Like when I say entertainment field, I mean like the classic ones, like going into like the music industry or being an actor and all those things, because there's a lot of exploitation that goes on in those fields. And I feel like unless they're doing it on YouTube or something where they're independent, maybe sure, whatever, do what you love.
But
yeah.
Okay, I actually have a point on that. Okay, because you just sparked something in my brain. You know how in the past there are all of those child stars that like now that they're adults they have all these problems and like they've been exploited, forced to grow up way before they were meant to. I feel like the same thing is going to happen to these kids, like the children of influencers and people that are exploiting their kids for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Because there are some people who censor their kids and they don't show them. Like they'll talk about being a parent and all that kind of stuff, but they don't show their kids, which is like to each their own. Like I'm not here to shame anyone for making the decision to show their children online, but it's sort of like the same concept, just on a different scale. Don't you think?
Yeah, but like that's if the kids end up becoming a big part of that channel, which has happened.
Do you know that one girl on TikTok with the twin girls, and she showed them for like the first year or two of their life, and then now stopped showing them, and people were like flipping out about that?
Yeah, but okay, the difference there though is that the reason a lot of those kids from like the TV shows had ended up with so many issues when they got older is because of the environment that they were in and the people that surrounded them and the things that they were being told to do. So like those kids were around a lot of people who introduced them to like drugs and introduced them to what do you call it again? You know, just other things that aren't really
and that's
positive for them.
Yeah, no, and that's fine, right? Those are strangers that are strangers or their peers or whoever, right? Like their managers may be these other people that aren't their parents, but those that are in social media, their managers are the parents, technically speaking.
Yeah.
There are some videos where parents will show like the behind the scenes where it'll be like a prank video. And then they'll be like, they'll tell their kid like, okay, act sad now, I'm about to record you. And so now these kids are learning how to act or learning how to put on a show whenever the cameras are around.
Yeah.
That could eventually trigger like personality disorders. You never know what it could lead to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Like it may not be drugs and alcohol and whatever, but it's just like different impacts in a different way by your own. It be your own people sometimes because it's their parents, right? But then when they become big enough, then that's when the parents will need a manager and they'll have to start putting out this type of content. Like kids shouldn't be working and kids shouldn't like. They shouldn't have to be expected to earn an income for the like you're a child. That's not your job. Yeah.
Actually, that makes a lot of sense because I was thinking of the John and Kate +8 situation.
There you go.
Where like, but then again, that was also a TV show. So that's a little bit different from a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because they're being forced to do certain things that they didn't want to do. But then again, I guess in YouTube it's the same thing. But the parents are the ones who are pushing it,
which is even worse. Yeah. Because you're more like kids are more likely to listen to their parents than a producer. Have you watched the movie The Blind Side?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the controversy?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
How
they didn't really adopt him. They put him under conservatorship. Yeah. Basically like what Britney Spears was under.
Exactly.
He didn't make any money from that movie.
And now he's like just now finding out about all of that.
Yeah. Was he just finding out about it?
Yeah, which is why it's all coming up now because he's basically suing them now, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then people were kind of going against Sandra Bullock, and I'm like, bruh, she's just an actress. That's like, I'm sure she didn't know either. Like. She was just recreating the story or like replaying the story.
Yeah. And like people are saying like how first off it's very racist what was going on because not only did the parents make money off of it, but they put their kids into the deal.
Crazy.
And they're like, why would they include their kids but not even give him anything for this? He's literally the motivating factor behind all of this.
But he knew that the movie came out. Like he was there at the premiere. Like,
was he there at the premiere?
Yeah, there's a whole movie about his life. You don't think he's gonna know?
I think he didn't know about like the contracts of how much they were making money off of it and all that.
Or like if they were making money or not.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but if someone was making a movie about me, you better cut me a check. You can't make a movie about my life and then I can't profit off of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then remember how people got on Colin Kaepernick? Because he came out with like I think it was a documentary or a TV show
on Netflix.
Yeah, it was a TV show, or like a series.
Yeah.
Where it followed him like as a kid, the person acting as him, and people were getting at him because he showed like the good sides of how they helped him, but also how there's like that those microaggressions and like little hints of racism.
Yeah.
Coming from his adopted parents, and people were calling out and being like, oh, why would you show that against your parents and stuff? And he's like, yeah, I'm just showing you the reality of the situation, right? It's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to especially a relationship like that where you're dealing with a black kid and a white family,
right?
Like there are certain things you're gonna deal with and that are gonna come up in that relationship, and I think this one's kind of showing you the extreme of that, this whole blindside situation, where you're like, yeah, like this was clearly they were exploiting him for his skills.
100%. They like
what?
This could be such a big topic, but I was reading some comments where they're talking about like the whole white savior concept and how like they basically helped this kid who lived in like a low income neighborhood, and then they basically helped him become a really big NFL player, like all this kind of stuff. And I was just like,
Yeah, and they're both in the NFL too. That's also like didn't realize that how close that was.
It's messy.
You know what? Let's pray for the people in Kelowna, BC,
and Maui,
and there's a hurricane coming. I think you said
Hurricane Hillary.
Yeah, Hurricane Hillary. Where is it gonna hit?
Southern California.
Yeah, in Southern California. So pray for the people there. Hopefully, everybody gets out safe. And they don't lose literally everything they've built in their whole lives, which seems to be the case.
Maui's like pretty burnt up.
Actually, speaking of Maui, there's a whole conspiracy popping up. Nowadays, it's almost like nothing can happen without a conspiracy being surrounded by it.
True.
But there's a whole conspiracy where like they were saying that this specific area that caught on fire, like a lot of rich people were recently like Oprah and like Jeff Bezos were recently buying a lot of property in that area, and then like suddenly there's a fire where all of it is burnt down, and then there are these contracts coming out from like FEMA to ask the people who live there to sign, and they're like, don't sign these because that's basically you signing away the rights to the land, because a lot of the reasons that this is coming up is because that area is so sought after. Like clearly if those people are buying it, like it's very expensive land, but there are a lot of people who generationally like have ownership or rights to this land, and they're not giving it up. Like no matter who comes to them, no matter how much money they put in their face, they're saying no, we're gonna stay here, we're gonna keep it within our family. But because of all this, everything being burnt down, now that land they've lost all their stuff. They still own the land, but it's gonna cost them money to rebuild and revive it. So these developers are coming in trying to take advantage of the situation and be like, hey, instead of you coming out of pocket for all this, we'll just give you some money for it, and you can just you can walk away a little bit richer here. But the people are telling them don't do this, and like there's a whole conspiracy where it's not being covered by the news as much because of this, because of how sought after that land is by rich people. So it seems like every time something comes out, there's a conspiracy that surrounds it.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's pretty messed up, and almost makes you wonder, like, who started that fire?
Yeah, but they did come out recently showing like what started it. It was basically a power line. Oh. There's an arc. There's an arc. There's an arc basically, like a tree hit the line. Yeah. And there was an arc that caused that tree to come on fire, and then
burned down the whole city.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then it came out that like people were warning about this happening for years, and telling that electrical company like, hey guys, this is an issue. We should probably pay attention to it.
Right.
But I guess that company had no incentive to do it because it would come out of pocket for them. Yeah. And this is what it led to.
That's really sad.
Yeah. And that company who owns that area is like, or the electric company there, like their stock like tanked after that. But yeah. And same thing with what was happening in Yellowknife and Kelowna, like the northern part of BC and that area. People were coming out with conspiracies there too, being like, why isn't this covered as much? Like, oh, maybe the land over there is also very sought after or something like. So every time something like this comes up, now it's like conspiracy ridden. And really we should just be like trying to support the people there.
I know.
And see what we can do to help them out so they don't lose their land.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like I think the reason why we even brought up global warming is because I feel like the rest of the world is now starting to feel the impacts of it. And so it's becoming more and more of a talked about topic where like even in Toronto, I think we had like 2 weeks of summer. Yeah. It rained the entire summer. It was like hot for like 2 weeks max. Yeah. And then, September is right around the corner, and then the weather is going to drop again. Yeah. And who knows? We might just have a brutal winter. I really hope not, but we'll see.
Maybe the winter will be warmer, hopefully.
Like... jokingly, that sounds like a good idea, but that's also kind of scary because
it's also not good for the climate in general for that to be
exactly.
I know we kind of covered and went on a lot of tangents there, guys, but thank you again for listening to another podcast from us. Remember to follow us, subscribe to the channel, do all that stuff, guys. We're at like 5,200 ish subscribers. Even check it. Roughly. So it's now August. We're going to set a goal for ourselves. Ooh, okay.
10K by the end of the year.
10K.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we gotta like step it in gear though if we're gonna get 10K.
We're gonna get vlogs out.
Yeah, vlog coming soon. I know we said that last time, but like actually, it's done. Okay, it's done now.
It's done?
Yeah.
I want to watch it.
Okay, we'll watch it after.
Okay. Yeah, vlog coming soon. We're also almost at 10K followers on both Instagram and TikTok. Mm-hmm. Y'all showing out over there. Yeah. I think you guys are really liking the clips. Let us know.
Yeah, I'm trying to, add more variety to the clips or like make them more
eye-catching.
Eye-catching, exactly, as you've noticed in the last couple. So
yeah,
hopefully I'll be able to continue that.
He's killing it with the editing. Guys, show him some love in the comments.
Yeah.
Some of you do, which we appreciate the kind words, but like, you got to show out for our boy here.
Exactly. I'm trying here, guys. Okay. We're taking it to the next level.
That's what we want to see. Okay. You know what to do. Follow, subscribe, like this video, and we'll be bringing back more. Inshallah.
Bye. Oh, you said it.
I know, sorry. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.